Son of a
Glitch.
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. In the last episode we took a look at the glitches in the HD re-release of Wind Waker, but in this episode we're going to check out the amazing glitches in the original Gamecube version. Last episode we looked at zombie hovering, in which you get your health down to a quarter heart, get knocked backwards by a bomb, and make sure the sword is in Link's hand. As Link is trying to get up from being hurt, hold the L button and rapidly mash the A and B button and Link will rise up from the ground. Once Link is high enough off the ground, you can let go of the L button and then you can just mash the B button to gain height, but if Link touches the ground again, it's game over. In the HD version, this glitch served no purpose without the Tingle tuner, an item given to you by Tingle in the Gamecube version that you can use to heal yourself while zombie hovering. The way the Tingle tuner works in a zombie hover goes like so. With a Game Boy Advance connected to your Gamecube using a cable, contact Tingle using the Tingle tuner item, which you receive when you rescue Tingle on Windfall Island. Once the green Tingle icon appears under Link's feet, use the Game Boy Advance screen to select a red or a blue potion and set it to the Game Boy's B button. Now make sure you have at least 80 rupees to cover the cost of the potions. Begin a zombie hover and keep mashing to reach your desired height, and then press the B button on the Game Boy Advance. You have to wait between 10 or 12 seconds for an item to heal you depending on which potion you use, red being the quickest and blue takes a bit longer. Now that the potion has restored Link's health, you can carry on as normal. One example of a zombie hover being useful is in Dragon Roost Cavern. In the main room of Dragon Roost, call Tingle and make sure you have a potion set to your B button on your Game Boy Advance, and then cross over the bridge to the bombs. We need to use these bombs to knock our health down to a quarter heart. We're gonna zombie hover all the way up to the top of the dungeon, and so we need to be lined up roughly like this. Next, slash the bomb to lose that last bit of health and hold the L button and rapidly mash the A and B button together to get Link off the ground. Once you get some decent air, you can then just mash the B button, but you'll need to press B insanely quick to gain height, and you'll really need the height to get all the way up to the top. It takes around a minute or so to get to the correct height, but as you're about to reach the platform above, now would be a good time to use the potion on the Game Boy and continue mashing the B button to gain height. As Link's health is restored, he'll jump slash onto the platform and you'll have made it all the way to the top of the dungeon. This zombie hover skips a lot of Dragon Roost Cavern, so it's a pretty cool trick. We'll come back to zombie hovers later in the episode, but now let's check out one of the most useful glitches in Wind Waker. Anytime you climb up a ledge and pull out the Wind Waker on the correct frame, Link will drop to the ground whilst using the Wind Waker, and this is called a Wind Waker dive. The ledge you climb must have an object or something that pushes you off when you climb it, like this rock, so that you always fall when you pull out the Wind Waker. Also, any part of level geometry that obstructs the camera's positioning will give you the same effect. But Wind Waker dives are just the beginning of the most useful glitch. If you cancel the Wind Waker dive 3 frames before Link hits the ground, the usual display will be gone, but Link will be still using the Wind Waker. This is called storage, and in this state, the very next thing Link does will be stored or deleted depending on the event. For example, when you have storage and you open a chest with a cutscene that plays when you open it, Link's collision is changed, and this helps him partially clip through walls or just go through them completely. Which is why we can skip getting the boss key in Dragon Roost Cavern, because when we get to the door with storage, we can just do this to get through it. If you get storage and go and talk to King of Red Lions, his text will be stored but won't be displayed on screen like it should. Now go to the small island at the back of Dragon Roost and use the Wind Waker in front of the stone tablets. The text that you store will appear on screen, but we want to cancel the first text box until we reach the last, with the round icon at the bottom. Now position Link in front of the broken stone tablet and make sure you can see check over the A button. Press the A button and that will close the text box but also render Link invisible. Now go to the left slightly to the tablet with the Wind's Requiem, then pull out the Wind Waker, and you'll learn the song, but instead of the cutscene playing, it's skipped entirely. Checking your inventory, you'll see that the song has been learnt, but this cutscene that should play out afterwards doesn't happen. And also, the Wind Waker display is still on screen. If we go back a few steps to the point where Link is invisible, that's pretty cool too. You can still interact with any object as you normally would, you know, running around as a floating bomb or going for an invisible swim, cutting things down like a ninja, but Link's just not on screen. We'll see the many ways you can get and use storage as we go, but here's how storage leads to another major glitch. When you get storage, using the Wind Waker once more activates camera lock, which in of itself isn't useful, and control inputs will be set depending on which direction you are facing when you activate camera lock, which makes movements very confusing unless you use the L button to orientate yourself. But this camera lock helps with the next glitch called a super swim. When you enter a body of water with camera lock, holding up on the analog stick will make the screen flicker as Link turns 180 degrees each frame and builds up speed as he goes. He'll gain more and more speed the longer you charge a super swim, and letting go of the analog will make Link swim backwards at speed. Simply holding the analog stick up will not control the Super Swim very well, however. To get control of a Super Swim, angle your analog either up left or up right until Link moves in a straight line like this. Hold this angle and watch the air meter in the bottom right hand corner. Before Link drowns, pick a destination by pressing up on the D-pad to bring up the sea chart. Say we want to go to Windfall, which is 2 quadrants left of where we are, so we need to angle our swim in that direction, but bear in mind we need to be facing away from our destination as Link swims backwards in a Super Swim. With that in mind, keep shifting the angle slightly and pressing up on the D-pad to line Link up and facing away from where it is you want to go. When you're happy with the angle, simply press the B button to cancel out of the sea chart and watch Link go. As you can tell, we're moving really quickly through the sea and across the chart, clearing whole quadrants in seconds. We can change our angle mid-swim, but this will decrease Link's overall speed and chances are we'll drown before we make it to our destination. The biggest factors in a successful Super Swim are how long you charge the swim and the air you have when you let the swim go. For instance, if I wanted to go from Windfall Island to Outset, well, you can see that's a huge distance. But if I charge a Super Swim here next to the docks like this, I can angle the swim under the docks to get an air refill, which lets me charge the swim longer and therefore gain enough speed and air to make it to Outset. You can see how fast I end up going, but choosing a direct angle like this will cause me to sploosh. The reason for that is the ocean is made up of rough and calm water. When you leave an area of rough ocean and enter calm seas, the game reloads the ocean, causing Link to sploosh because he is moving much quicker than the game expects. If this happens, just recharge your swim and you'll land on Outset. Sometimes if you drown before you make land but are practically on the island, you'll respawn on the island anyway. Obviously this glitch is very useful as super swimming is much quicker than sailing, but say for instance the island you want to go to has a cutscene, which in the earlier section of the game is true for most of the major islands. If you super swim to an island with an entry cutscene, you'll softlock the game. Like in this example, trying to swim from Dragon Roost to Greatfish will trigger the cutscene and softlock, because camera lock during a super swim prevents the cutscene executing correctly. There are 2 ways to get around a cutscene softlock though. The first one involves using double storage. Get storage once and then speak to King of Red Lions to store his text, and then get storage again which will make the text appear on screen. Make sure you activate camera lock using the Wind Waker while the text is still on screen, and then you can cancel the text. Then simply charge a swim and make it to your desired destination, and you should store the cutscene. Although in this example I actually didn't make it and drowned, which skipped the cutscene completely and let me carry on from after where the cutscene would finish. And I went on my merry way. But on returning to Greatfish, this happened. The cutscene began playing as it should, but Link's not actually on land, so he doesn't appear in the cutscene, because he's way out in the ocean infinitely dropping, and that's it, softlocked. Dang. But here's the correct way to get to Greatfish. Get storage on Northern Triangle Island and then super swim to Greatfish. Charge the swim with Dragon Roost in the background in roughly the center of the screen and then get an angle like this on the sea chart. We need enough speed that we get through the cutscene but not too fast that we shoot straight through the island. When we hit land, we quickly pull out the sail to cancel camera lock, and then the cutscene for Greatfish entry plays normally, except the Wind Waker display is still on screen. Cancelling camera lock this way allows the cutscene to play as it should and avoids softlock. Using this technique, we can go and get bombs earlier than intended, by either sailing to Windfall or getting double storage on this boat and then super swimming to Windfall to avoid getting softlock in the cutscene. Whichever way you get to Windfall, we can use storage to get past the pirate ship password. You can get storage on this part of the ship by the door, and then once you have it, try and open the door to store it. Then make your way back onto the main island like this till you reach the door to where Tingle was being held prisoner. Press the A button to open the text box and then rapidly press the B button to cancel all text boxes. Now everything is going to go white and we're going to need the mini-map to guide us back to the door of the pirate ship. What's useful is every time we pause the game we can briefly see where we actually are, so this makes it a tiny bit easier to get back to the door. Once we're in front of the door and just go through it, we'll hit the loading zone for the pirate ship. Now we can do the annoying rope swing stuff and get bombs early, which will be very useful later. But for now, let's head to Forest Haven where we're going to use a Wind Waker dive to get under the island. When you first arrive at Forest Haven, Beedle's boat is on your left, so run and jump to grab the top of his boat. Pull out the Wind Waker on the correct frame to drop to the ground and you'll fall under the ocean. Let one beat of the Wind Waker play and then simply cancel it. You'll be under the ocean and you're able to go under the island and then swim to the loading zone above. You may remember we did a similar thing last episode in the HD version with roll clipping, which still works in this version, but Wind Waker diving is much easier to do. When you reach Forbidden Woods, and if you have bombs early, you can actually breeze through this dungeon in about 5 minutes using storage and bombs. In this area here, you can get storage on this ledge and get up to the chest using the leaf. This type of storage is called chest storage, and as you can see, it gives you the ability to run up steep vertical geometry. Now usually we'd need the boomerang to finish this dungeon, but we can just use bombs on all the doors, and this boss door doesn't put up much of a fight at all. We can just go right through it with storage. When it comes to fighting the boss, we can use bombs here too. Stand underneath the boss, pull out a bomb, and as it's about to explode, throw it like this and it should register a hit. 4 well-aimed bomb throws will finish the job. No problem. Moving on to the Tower of the Gods and skipping the whole first floor from the last episode still works in exactly the same way as the HD version, but I wanted to explain something about the way ledge clipping works that confused some in the last episode. When you want to clip out of bounds with a ledge and an object, you always press in the opposite direction you want to go. With this clip, I want to go to my right into the wall, but to do that I need to press left. Why? Because if I press right, I'll just fall out of bounds, which is not what I want. If I press left, Link is trying to occupy the same space as the statue I placed below him. But because 2 objects cannot be in the same place at the same time, the collision pushes me out just enough that I go right, where I want to be, but not falling out of bounds. So you see that pressing the opposite direction has the desired effect, and this goes for all ledge clips from the last episode. Moving on, we can do some pretty crazy stuff with Forsaken Fortress 2, such as a Wind Waker dive in this spot here outside the fortress, which you can find using the minimap. Move to the edge and keep using the Wind Waker till you fall, let 1 beat play out and then cancel to get under the fortress. Swim over this way towards the floating door and you'll pop into the cutscene with Phantom Ganon. Here's where things get really crazy. Using the chest that contains the skull hammer, we're going to jump slash on top of it, pull out a bomb, turn around, pull out the Wind Waker, cancel, turn toward the bomb and use the Wind Waker again in the hopes that it pushes us off the chest and we're able to cancel and get storage from it, which is incredibly hard to get the timing on. If you do manage to get storage, open the chest and everything will go dark, so we're flying blind with only the minimap to guide us. As we reach the edge of this green area, we're going to jump off and leaf over to this rock here, or preferably over to this area here. I stupidly took a wrong turn, so it's best to leaf over to this spot if you're going to try this one. Also worth mentioning, wind direction is your friend here, so point it this way to help you out. Now we're over here, follow this green area around until you reach this spot, which is actually a wall we can run up using storage abilities. Once we reach the top, we need to leaf over to this grey door which has a loading zone we need to enter, and we'll have just skipped pretty much the whole of Forsaken Fortress. Now we're onto the Helmaroc skip for the Gamecube version, which differs slightly from the HD version. The beginning is the same, where once we reach the top of the tower we need to run in and out of Helmaroc's trigger, which makes him move far enough away that we can roll up to where he cuts Link off. When he crashes down, we just need to climb up this ledge to move on. Now we need to take damage till we have 1.5 hearts left, so that Link hunches and makes his collision slightly smaller. Here's the trickiest part. We next need to leaf and cancel to grab this part of the ledge here, which when Link pulls himself up, he'll be inside the floor. This allows us to crouch here and crawl under this wall, and from here we can run and roll to our right and arrive on the ramp leading up to the top. You don't have to leaf to the ledge, you can make it with an angle like this, which eliminates the need for magic, and also when you make the crawl under this wall, don't go too far forward, otherwise you'll fall out of bounds. Let's take a little break from skipping stuff and breaking the game to see some of the other fun and useful glitches in the Gamecube Wind Waker. Here's a really simple one called the soup glitch. When you use a fairy to heal Grandma, she gives you the elixir soup, which fully restores your health and your magic and gives you double damage on your attacks until you get damaged yourself. But it can only be used twice per full bottle, unless of course you use the soup glitch. Put the soup on a button and then cancel out of the pause menu. Then press the button you assign the soup to and the start button at the exact same time and the pause menu will pop up. Now reassign any item to the button the soup was on and then once again cancel out the pause menu. Link will drink the soup, but when you pause, you'll see that the soup is still full. It gets better. If you replace the soup with an empty bottle during the glitch, when Link drinks the soup, check out the pause menu and you'll see the empty bottle is now half filled with soup, so you now have even more soup than before. Awesome. This glitch also works with fairies in bottles too. Press the button the fairy is assigned to and then press the start button at the same time. Then switch out the fairy with any other item and what do you know? The fairies are still there. A similar glitch happens with the Tingle tuner. Set the Tingle tuner to a button and then press that button and pause at the same time, and then swap the Tingle tuner with any other item. Link will then pull out that item, like this bow, or this leaf, or this telescope, in the eye. But the most useful, if you can call it that, are bombs. Perform this glitch inside the bomb shop and Link will pull out a bomb indoors, which usually isn't a thing you can do. Throw the bomb towards the back of the shop and it'll blow up all the barrels, but the strangest part of this whole thing is this guy. For some reason, there's a little pig in the bomb shop. I don't even know, he's just there. I guess that's a nice segue into something that's become a feature lately, pig glitches. On Windfall, throw all the pigs into the ocean. I know, I've lost it. Hear me out. Now go talk to this guy and make sure you have at least 3 skull necklaces to play pig sitting. I don't know. Anyway, once you begin the game, go and look for the pigs, and when you find them, they'll be doing this. Swimming on land, like it's just a normal thing. I think this could be a whole side quest by itself. I guess it would be wrong not to talk about the big guy back on Outset Island. Last episode we threw him here, picked him up on this side of the fence, and he came out all off center. But what didn't happen last episode was this. I don't even know why this happens, but I love it. Look at that piggy fly. I don't think you like that one. Also last episode we put the pig here and picked him up from this ledge and he was then floating above our head. In the Gamecube version we can get the crooked pig a lot easier than we could in the HD version. Take the pig that's now floating above your head over to this tree outside Link's house and he just does this. And now we can do pig spinning, again. On the subject of heavy objects, go to Forest Haven and get forest water and wait for it to expire, which takes about 20 minutes. As it's about to expire, lift a heavy object like this rock, and when it does expire, Link will lift the rock like it's not even heavy at all, which is so fun to just run around with. Those killer bees on Windfall Island are such a pain. Stop running around, you kids. But if you get them over by these stairs and target the leader, speak to him, and when he's done talking, move him back just slightly and then speak to him again, and you can repeat this until he's halfway down the path. Then you just leave him to casually go through the wall and take all his friends with him. You take care now. Okay, enough with the messing around. We're headed to Dragon Roost Island for another cool storage trick. You can get storage on this ledge here and then go to the top of this hill where we're going to use an arrow to hit a bomb on the side of the rock face. A chest will fall, and when we open it we'll be able to walk over the top of these rocks and using a leaf make our way up to the top of this rock. Now we need the grapple hook, and from the swing we'll jump and leaf over to this part of the wall with the crack and we can run up the wall with storage. Once at the top we need to come over to this end, backflip and use the leaf to get over the fence, and then we just run over to Medli, which is a pretty sweet shortcut. With the storage glitch, the Earth Temple has a lot of cool stuff going on. When you enter this room with all the choo-choos, make sure you beat them all to unlock the door, and then get storage in the corner of the room with these pillars. Now open the chest in the center of the room and things will go dark. Grab Medli and then guide yourself using the mini-map to the next room. In this room with the giant statue, we can line up with the statue's arm and then use Medli to fly over to it. Because of storage, we're able to climb up the arm and then we can just jump slash onto its earring, turn to our right and then jump slash again onto its head. There's a slightly higher part of the head that you can side hop or jump slash onto and then give you some decent height to leaf over to this platform and enter the next room, which is already skipping a lot of the Earth Temple. You don't really need Medli to get up on the statue. You can side hop onto the feet and then onto the ankle and then run up the arm like this and get to the top that way. Now in the next room we want to call Tingle as we're going to zombie hover out of bounds. The setup for this trick involves entering the room, turn 180 degrees, backflip twice, line up with the door in the see up or first person mode like this using the on-screen B button as a guide, and this is a pretty much perfect lineup here. Now hold the L button and move diagonally into this corner and finally backflip twice. On the Tingle tuner, set the blue potion to the B button and then pull out a bomb. Now make sure you have the sword in Link's hand and then take damage. Hold the L button and then mash the A and B buttons till you get off the ground. Then once you're at this height, just mash the B button. Mash the B button quickly as you enter the corner and the angle should be enough to clip us out of bounds. Now we need to gain a lot of height quickly, and when we get about here, press the B button on the Game Boy Advance as you continue mashing to gain height. Listen for the sound of Tingle healing you, and when you reach the fourth gulping-like sound from Tingle, switch from the B button on the controller to tapping the button you have the leaf equipped to, and Link should pull out the leaf the second health is restored. The blue potion restores all health and magic, which we'll need to leaf over to this area behind a door, and this will put us in the room with the mirror shield. To clip out of bounds, stick to the ceiling as much as you can, or the wall will block you and you'll just slowly fall to the ground. And make sure you have enough height, otherwise you won't make it to the load zone. In the room with the mirror shield, we can use the leaf pump trick from last episode to grab this ledge without beating the Stalfos and grab the mirror shield early. Now we want to save and quit to menu and reopen the file to save warp to the beginning of the Earth Temple, as the mirror shield is the only major requirement of this dungeon, and now we have it, we can move on. Go back to the room you originally got storage and you can once again open the chest and things will go dark. This chest is a reobtainable chest, meaning every time you get storage and open it, it's never permanent, so you can open it again and again. Back to the statue room, we need to repeat the statue climb from earlier, but this time we need to take Medli to this spot at the back wall and drop her into the wall. Then hold the L button and at this angle move along the wall until Link falls and grabs the edge like this. Climb back up and Link will fall down behind the statue and we can grab Medli and carry on through this door. Play the Earth God's lyric and carry on through the rest of the dungeon as normal till you reach this room where we need Medli to cross over the fog. Don't fall into the pit here as Link won't be able to climb with storage and you'll have to be taken by a floor master which will lose you storage and you'll have to get it all over again. Once on the other side, you can drop Medli and say bye bye because we won't be needing her anymore. You can jump slash up these ledges and then hold the L button and move along the wall until Link grabs the ledge like earlier. Climb up and then immediately pull out the leaf and then hold the analog forward. You'll now be in the next room, and from here we can jump and leaf up to this column and then use the same ledge grab as before to get inside the wall. On top of the column and facing in this direction, side hop and then pull out the leaf and glide to this door and then land. Turn till you see the word open over the A button and then open the door to arrive in the next room. In this room you can grab a full magic refill ready for the next bit. When you reach the lyric stone, turn to face the right side wall and then hold the L button and move sideways up the stone. And when you reach the top, side hop and then leaf over to the top of this coffin. Once again, use this method to fall and grab the ledge and then climb up and immediately pull out the leaf and then glide around to the other side of the lyric stone and repeat the door trick from the last room. From here it's a straight shot to the boss door, which yet again we can skip with storage in two ways. You can stand at this angle and line up using the see up first person view and then turn 180 degrees, backflip and pull the leaf to go through the door and into the loading zone behind it. Or you can style it out like this, roll up the side of the door which will make Link jump and then you can pull out the leaf and go behind the door, which is a lot quicker. And that's the Earth Temple, completely destroyed by storage. The Wind Temple doesn't fare much better. In this first room, use Makar to place a seed into the ground and then grow the trees and make a chest appear and then get him over to the button to shut off the fans above and then switch back to Link. Now we want to get storage from the spring platform by climbing the very edge and then cancelling the Wind Waker dive. Now you have storage, open the chest and Link will now run up the trees to jump and leaf over to the spring platform, as you won't be able to climb them normally with storage. Now carry on through the dungeon as normal until you reach the main room, and the door you entered this room from has a small gap that we can fall through at the right angle, and once we're through we can use the leaf to glide over the room with the hookshot inside. You need to grab a small key, and for that you can still use the bomb damage boost from the last episode and grab the key in the chest, which will be used in the next bit. In the main room is this chest, and you guessed it, we're going to get storage from it. Using the same storage technique as before with the springboard, get storage and then open the chest and everything is going to go dark again. In the dark, we need to leaf over to this door and then land on the top ledge. Hold the L button and slowly move against the wall till Link grabs the edge, and you'll be able to tell if he's in position if his eyes are like this. Climb up by holding the analog left if the camera is at Link's side, and then when he's up, immediately hold right on the analog. Link will do a small jump out of bounds, and then we need to use the leaf to glide down slightly and then back in bounds using the minimap. Link should land in the basement, and then we guide him to this door on the minimap and then use the key we got earlier to open the door. Now we can see what we're doing, unlock the door with the switch at the top of the room as usual, and then we can move on to the next room. From here we can leaf over to the fan because of storage, and we need to look this way, run forwards to make Link jump off the fan, use the leaf and then jump slash at the right time to make it to the other side. Make your way to the Aria Stone blocking the room with the boss door, and last episode we just sidled behind it. Now we can just go over the top of it with storage and land on the other side. And as always, the boss doors don't really keep us out, so we can just get around this one too. So that's all the dungeons broken with storage, which I think you will agree is a really cool glitch. You can really see how the Bird's Peak rock skip from last episode works more clearly in the Gamecube version. Just press the A button on the backswing to go through the wall and skip the gate entirely. The Ghost Ship chart skip on Diamond Step Island works in much the same way too. Go to this corner of the ship, aim the hookshot at the pot and then hold the L button, step forward slightly and place a bomb, and then move backwards and aim the hookshot at the wooden post. As the bomb begins to grow, press start and hold the L button and hold left on the analog and then unpause. The hookshot will fire and the bomb will explode, knocking you inside the ship. This is possible because of the L slide technique, where you can move left or right with a fired hookshot when the L button is held down. And from here you can hookshot the chest and grab the ghost ship chart. Once you get on the ghost ship, you can leaf pump over to the other side to avoid having to fight all the enemies to drop the ladder. Pretty cool. You can also use storage to skip the cabana deed on the private oasis. Get storage here and then store King of Red Lion's text by speaking to him. Then head to this area to hookshot the chest up on the ledge above. Pull out the Wind Waker and then open the chest, and now your collision has changed, go over to the cabana door. If you get inside the door like this, you can use the hookshot to lock onto a tree behind the cabana, and when you fire the hookshot you'll be dragged through the load zone behind the cabana door, and now you're inside. If you have storage and get to the chest without storing King of Red Lion's text, when you open the chest everything will go dark, making it pretty difficult to get inside the cabana, as it's really hard to tell where anything is, so that's why storing the text is useful. Another thing storage can do is teleport you across great distances. Get storage and then store King of Red Lion's text, pull out the Wind Waker and the text will appear on screen, and if you open a door like this, the door will get stored. Jump in your boat and sail far out without leaving the quadrant, and then get out of the boat and speak to King of Red Lions. His text box will appear on screen and Link will be teleported back to the door you stored. Also, anytime you use the Wind Waker from that point, you'll again be sent back to the door that you stored. Overall, storage is a really crazy glitch and it lets you break the game in all kinds of ways, so I recommend giving storage a try. And finally, here's an easy glitch everyone can do. When you game over, don't save but continue playing, but as soon as the "would you like to continue playing" screen disappears, reset the console, and then instead of taking you back to the title screen, you'll be back in regular play, but then seconds later the title screen will appear anyway. You can continue this way, but eventually you'll need to press the A or B button, which takes you to the file menu. Also, Link is wearing his outset clothes too. This glitch is also referred to as the back in time glitch, and it's really easy to do. But that concludes our adventures with the Wind Waker, both HD and original. It's been quite a journey, and there's tons of glitches you guys can go and have fun with. And if you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone you know and love, but most importantly, please subscribe if you want to see more from the series. Head over to the Facebook page for the show. I post updates and sneak peeks to upcoming episodes and keep you guys in the know about all things Son of a Glitch. Or you guys can follow me on Twitter and keep updated that way. Also, I stream on Twitch whilst making episodes, so you guys should check me out there too. You know, if you want to.